President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris received an update from the U.S. negotiation team on the status of the bridging proposal outlined by the United States, Qatar and Egypt. Reports suggest the United States could make a final take-it-or-leave-it ceasefire proposal to both Israel and Hamas this week, after months of negotiations that simply has not produced an agreed product to bring peace to Gaza and usher in a hostage for Palestinian prisoner exchange between the warring parties. It was President Biden Monday in an exchange with reporters outside the White House.
To present a final hostage deal for both sides this week.
We're very close to that.
What makes you think that this deal will be successful in a way that the other deals were not?
Both things account.
Mr. President, do you think it's time for Prime Minister Netanyahu to do more on this issue? Do you think he's doing enough?
No.
Netanyahu is facing massive protests at home over the lack of a deal to bring the remaining 101 hostages home, with many Israelis holding him responsible for not securing an agreement sooner, and thus sparing the lives of just the latest 6 hostages to die in captivity.
We're grieving the death of 6 hostages. They should have come back alive. They could have come back alive. We need a deal now. They need to come back alive.
But the PM has since rejected calls to soften his demand to keep Israeli troops along the so-called Philadelphia corridor along the Gaza border with Egypt, a key obstacle to an agreement with Hamas.
I told the families, and I say it again this evening, I ask for your forgiveness for not succeeding in bringing them back alive. But we did not succeed. And I also say this evening, Israel will not accept this massacre. Hamas will pay a very high price for that. The axis of evil needs the Philadelphia corridor, and for that reason we must control the Philadelphia corridor. Hamas insists, for that reason, that we not be there. And for that reason, I insist that we be there. Presence in the Philadelphia corridor is first and foremost a political strategic issue. We must set firm the fact that we are there.
Thousands of mourners gathering in Jerusalem Monday for the funeral of 23-year-old American-Israeli Hersh Goldberg-Polin, whose body was retrieved from southern Gaza tunnels along with the bodies of 5 other hostages.
The inexplicable agony, terror, anguish, desperation, and fear. We became absolutely certain that you were coming home to us alive. But it was not to be. Now I no longer have to worry about you. I know you are no longer in danger. I think we all did every single thing we could. The hope that perhaps a deal was near was so authentic it was crunchy. It tasted close, but it was not to be so. Those beautiful 6 survived together, and those beautiful 6 died together, and now they will be remembered together forever.
Special Coordinator for the Middle East Peace Process, Tor Veneslan, condemned the tragic killing of the 6 hostages in Gaza by Palestinian armed groups, reiterating the UN's long-standing call for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire that could bring about the release of all remaining hostages and bring relief to Gaza. The World Health Organization indicated Tuesday that it was ahead of its targets for polio vaccinations in Gaza, having vaccinated more than 161,000 children under the age of 10 in central Gaza in the first 2 days of its campaign. That represents about a quarter of the 640,000 children WHO hopes to reach by the end of its staggered 3-phased campaign that has been facilitated by daily humanitarian pauses in the fighting. The campaign will move to southern Gaza later this week, where teams will aim to reach an additional 340,000 children before moving to the final phase in the northern regions of the enclave. At least 90% of Gaza's children need to be vaccinated to prevent the spread of the polio virus within and beyond Gaza's borders. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.